What is up, guys, and welcome to today's 1 Minute Clinic. And before we get started, guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. The channel is growing and I'm super excited to help more and more people. Also, if you want your question answered and turned into a 1 Minute Clinic video, just like today, comment your questions down below. I add them to a list and I get to every single one. And today's question comes from, which I like the way it's spelled, Brandon with D-O-N-E, which is hilarious. Hi, Will. Question on how to handle a ball that's below the knee or lower and inside the court. Should I get my body low and try to swing through with the ball in front, or should I reach down from a more upright posture and try to lift it? These shots often go long when I use either technique. Thanks in advance. I have covered certain aspects of this in other videos, but I've never addressed this specific situation by itself. So let's get 1 minute on the clock and cover that in this week's 1 Minute Clinic. So I'm going to be using the ball machine for this just so we can get a pretty consistent bounce here, as this shot is kind of tough to maintain in a rally. But like a lot of things with tennis, it depends. What it's going to depend on when you're trying to handle a ball that's really low and at your feet is, where are you going? Obviously the ball's low and the ball can come in low as a slice or a flat shot, but for the most part, that's actually not going to matter as much as where your body weight is going. So for example, there are a lot of recreational players that I see that when they're making their way in, they don't do it like I would do, where it would have to be like a baseline shot and then I really make a big move into the court and I kind of skip this area. A lot of recreational players kind of hit here and then they get caught in here where they're going to take a ball low and then they kind of segue past this area. If your intention is to get through this area, then the answer is going to be getting yourself down and kind of bringing the shot up with you. So if I was to turn the ball machine on now and just kind of reset myself here, as the ball comes in, I'm going to get low and then come up through the shot, rather than get low and try to stay in this position. So a lot of times people kind of put themselves in a category of like, this is the way you're supposed to hit this shot, and it depends on your actual body movement. So when you're moving forward, it's going to be more of that little skip through where you're going to get your body down and keep your upper body more upright. There's not really going to be that lean through. It's just going to be kind of a step down, pick the ball up, and then continue your transition forward. Now, addressing the other option where people kind of find themselves stuck in this area, that would be an example of like your general 3-0 to 3-5 contract or USTA people, where they kind of get stuck in this area because some balls are landing short and every now and then a ball goes through the court. When that happens and you're kind of playing this area, again, which I don't recommend, they call it no man's land for a reason. You shouldn't be in here because balls can land behind you, but let's assume that that's not what's happening. When that happens, you're actually going to go with the other option, which is getting yourself down and kind of pushing through and actually completing the swing more linear and deflecting the pace. You've got two ways to do this though. You can use your normal forehand and keep your swing level, or you can go continental grip and kind of handle it like a block. I'm going to do both in this little demonstration. So hanging out right here, keeping that racket nice and firm like a continental block. This option works really good for just being able to keep balls in play. If you want to be a little more aggressive, taking the racket down and pushing through it, like not that one though. There we go. Taking the racket down and kind of extending the arm out through the shot is a way better option for keeping your opponents more neutral, because they can't really get a good read on the trajectory, as well as they can't get a good read on the speed that you're going to be hitting. As you saw when that ball came in, I didn't do this huge wind up and this huge swing through. It was more of a just brace myself down here and extend my arm out. That ball coming in is doing most of the work. But when you try to do what a lot of people do, which is their normal swing, then you end up with what Brandon said in the intro. He's like, these shots tend to go long. And the reason that is because most people do what I'm going to show you now, which is the ball will be coming in and they'll see that ball coming and they'll try to take a swing at it. And there's just a little too much time pressure. Now you can make it every now and then, but that shot right there, simplifying it, that's going to be the ticket more than trying to do that. Even at my level, which is generally a pretty good player, I wouldn't try that very often just because it gets me in trouble, because now I have more pressure to make that type of shot. And ironically, it makes it difficult for me to make my next shot because that takes time away from me. Whereas before I could just be stable, slow it down just a little bit to allow me to relax and then move forward. So what are the technical aspects that allow this shot to be hit clean? In a nutshell, you've got how your feet are moving and what type of swing path you're going to use. For the static one, which is just me getting my body down into the position of the ball, you can use your forehand grip or you can use a continental grip, because what's most important there is going to be keeping your swing path level and small. So being able to go into this position here and just extend out through the ball is going to be the key to being successful with that. The reason why you can do that is, in most cases, you're actually going to be taking the ball on the rise. And because the ball is being taken on the rise, if you look at my racket here, let's just say I was hitting the ball like this, the natural deflection of a ball is going to be off the ground to the racket. And from there, it would want to continue to go up. So I don't have to do the lifting part in that type of shot. I can literally just come at it fairly flat and let the natural deflection get the ball over the net. Now, when it comes to the pickup, the reason why you're going to actually try to give that ball a little bit of shape is you want good margin over the net, but also you want to hit a shot that allows you to continue your momentum. So I'm going to alternate between the two and just show the difference in the way the feet are supposed to move. So as that ball comes in here, going right into that position there, that's going to keep me safe and in the point, because I'm not overdoing it and then trying to create a shot like that. Now, when the next shot comes in, if I was to start a little further back and move, and then my ball was overshot, but if I was going to move towards it and then get down, that's going to be the difference. Getting down and then just picking the ball up so that my momentum can continue into the court if I was actually planning on using it as a transition shot. But that's going to wrap it up for this week's 1 Minute Clinic. Remember, guys, if you want your questions answered and turned into a video just like this one, comment your questions down below. I add them to a list and I get to every single one. And also, if you're brand new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. The channel is growing really fast. I'm happy to be able to help more and more people. And lastly, if you know somebody that will benefit from this video, send it off to them. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.